is only for lazy people. It's just an avenue to steal money. It does not lead to freedom. Now, when you have a job, when they give you the letter, they tell you they are starting on the level 8. Step 1. Now, it's a 35-year journey that you are not sure of the destination. You don't know where it will take you to. But it's 35 years. The question I will always ask, because of my own consciousness, is in 35 years, how much will my salary likely be? Whatever answer they give you is an assumption based on you assuming that you'll be promoted every 3 years. It's not written in the form. It's just what you have heard from other people. If the promotion does not come, there's nobody to hold. Those are the reasons I resigned. There's always a promotion board who will eventually determine whether you are promoted or not. Sometimes they will say there's quota system. If you are from one place, maybe it's only one person they will take, you wait for the next promotion. So all of those factors are beyond each person's control. So those are questions you must ask. So if you take on a job, the best paid lecturer is probably going home with ₦1 million. The VC is 1.5 for those 5 years that is a VC. So to now think that you choose to be a university lecturer and you're expecting to build a house, the two does not go together. So there has to be clarity. So as an employee, you are trading time for money. You are investing time. So when you get that letter, what they write there is resume at 8, close at 4. It means invest 8 hours or sell 8 hours of your time to us every day, 40 hours per week, and we will pay you this amount. A lot of people don't know that their time is a capital.
40 years plus.
Sir?
40 years plus, because they will include where expensive will require you to stay longer.
To be able to get back home.
Yes.
So people don't look at time like that. They don't understand that time is a capital that can be invested. In Nigeria, most people waste time. They don't value that time. Yet they have that money come and they're expecting to pay. So no matter who you are working for, being an employee limits what you can earn, because you can only be in one place at a time. The S stands for the self-employed. You are self-employed when you are a professional, you are selling a skill. So the doctor, the pilot, the architect, the fashion designer, the engineer, they are professionals. They earn based on their skill. So a pilot earns maybe $10 per hour or $50 per hour. As long as it's showing up, you will earn money. But it doesn't mean you will become wealthy, because it still has to be there to earn. It cannot earn in 2 places at the same time. So it still does not have wealth. You find a medical doctor working at the Gogolaga Teaching Hospital in the morning as an employee, and then running his private clinic in the evening. He is still trading time for money. So when they count the richest people in the town, there's no doctor there. There's no engineer there. There's no architect there. Unless those who have learned the business side of that skill that they have. So this is the reason why many people remain poor. Because for life, they remain here, trading time for money. So Kiyosaki now advised that we must cross to this side. And that for me was where light came. Being a business owner can happen in 3 basic ways. Number 1, like Dangote, you can incorporate your own company. You have an idea, you put it on paper, you write a business plan, then you go to the bank. Dangote is the richest black man, but he's also the #1 debtor. Because that line of business he chose requires cash capital consistently. And that's where many people like you and I will run away. You don't want to take that risk of owing. So the capital in incorporation is cash. So when you are talking to people, you say, I have an idea, I know what I can do, it's just that there is no capital. Have you heard people say that? So at that point, what they mean is there is no money. There is no bank that borrows a startup money to start business. They only borrow you money for expansion. They don't borrow you money to start. So that's where the issue comes. But if you build up capital by yourself, whether you borrow or you take cooperative or you borrow, take from friend and family, or you do your savings, you can start. Like Dangote now, I think it was his great uncle that borrowed him 20,000 naira to start. That's called OPM. That's other people's money. So he got somebody who believed in his vision to invest money. So there are many cases like that. $100 gave his wife 40 million naira to start a laundry business. And today that's the biggest laundry business in Nigeria. So you have issues like that. Noah Femi himself got loan from his father. So when you have people that can invest in you because they believe in you, then you can do incorporation. Mike Adenuga owns Global. His first attempt to buy a license was $185 million down the drain. They didn't give him. He had to raise another money before he was given that Global. So, business ownership, incorporation is number one. The second one is franchising. Franchising is buying into an existing system. McDonald's, KFC, Mobile, Starbucks, all of those are franchises. So franchise means instead of me starting from the ground floor, if doing Fehintola Foods, I put $1 million, I go to buy a franchise from McDonald's. McDonald's is the biggest franchise. It requires $1 million. So what am I buying? The name, the structure, the system, the goodwill, their recipe, everything they do is what I will replicate. Instead of starting Fehintola oil, I can go and partner with Mobile. So what you will see is Mobile oil. Because you believe in that name and the product, you will go in and fill your tank. You don't even have to know that I'm the dealer that owns the station. That's what is called franchising. Because then we get, I don't know where I was, and people are discussing, we were talking about Mr. Beat. Okay, it was last Saturday, I went for a leadership conference, and people were talking about Mr. Beat. Why did Mr. Beat fail? It was a franchise system, but they didn't have a good training structure. So people were not compelled to follow. They ran it like a civil service center. So they had branches, but there was no excellence in their delivery. You could go to one and they are selling meat pie from yesterday. You could get to another one and the taste of the jollof rice is different. So they lost the market. Meanwhile, it was supposed to be the very first, pioneering that industry in Nigeria, but it did not give to the terms. So franchising requires a large amount of cash capital also to start. Because a large amount of cash capital. So many people are not able to do that. Subway, all of them, they are but it's a very good way because you are leveraging somebody else's expertise. It's that you are standing on other people's shoulders. And it's also a very good way. The second hand says that the third way to be a business owner is through the network marketing business model. Network marketing is also like franchising. But now you don't need a large amount of money, you need a large number of people. So you have a system and then you duplicate other people. So it's called building people assets. The people are your assets. The people are your assets. So you don't need a large amount of money. You need to put up a system and then you need to duplicate with people. So it's leverage is the key word. To build wealth is to understand the power of leverage. To build wealth is to understand the power of leverage. So what does that mean? It means that you can leverage other people's time, effort, money. That's how to build wealth. So Dangote is leveraging our money to build his businesses. In franchising, they're still leveraging people's money and time. But in network marketing, you are leveraging people's time to build wealth. So this simply explains to us how to build wealth. Now, Joseph now went further and said, once you have succeeded as a business owner, you can then build investments. You can build investments. So earlier today, we were talking about options of building investments. Number one, you can do real estate. Real estate is investment. Real estate is investment. How do you do real estate as an investment? When you say something is an investment, it means it's an asset that brings money. How much do you need to invest in real estate to be able to generate 5 million naira a month? 5 million naira a month times 12 is 60 million per year.
You multiply that by 20. It's not you. You multiply that by 20. The rental income is roughly about 5% of each of these.
The thing here is analysis. The rental income is about 5% of your initial investment. So if you're going to make 60 million in a year, that's 5%. That's what he's saying now. It means that 120 times 10, you will invest 1.2 billion naira to be able to generate 60 million per year. That's the percentage he gave us now. Now, if you break it down, how much do they sell a plot of land in Jabi? Take Jabi as an example. So, to generate rent of 60 million in a year means you need 12 flats. That's an example, right? If one flat is 5 million, 12 flats will give you 60 million. That is what gives you 5 million pounds. How much do you need to build 12 flats? I'm not using slide, it's a practical class. Everybody is going to live here knowing what you can do to generate the amount you want per month. So if we take 5 million as an example of what you want per month, we're going to discuss the options you have, and then you can decide what you want to do and pursue. Now, for your information, between now and 2030, that's 5 years, is a very, very important time in our existence. If you listen to people we call futurists in the last 2-3 years, they've all been predicting that between now and 2030 is a time that everybody has to be decisive. So you want to invest the next 5 years in building something that you know what to expect from it. You have to chart your course by yourself. How many of us know that your results is not dependent on the country?
Yes.
Your result is not dependent on the president, it's not dependent on your wiki, it's not dependent on your... Oh, no. It's dependent on you. And your decision is dependent on the information that's available to you. So, we're taking 5 million a month as a benchmark. Being in retirement does not mean we're waiting until you are 60. It simply means you choose your retirement time. So if you plan to retire in the next 5 years, what are the things you can do in the next 5 years that can give you 5 million naira a month? So we're looking at real estate now, and we say 60 million per year. You need 12 flats where you're collecting rent for 5 million per flat to get 60 million in a year. How much will you need to build 12 flats in a place like that? In places where you can command this kind of rent. In Sun City, they rent 3-bedroom bungalows, standalone bungalows at 5 million naira. That means you need 12. They sell each of those bungalows 85 million as we speak. So you need 85 times 12 to generate 60 million up a block of 6 flats each on 2 plots of land. I'm using one to Lagos. Let me use Lagos example. And tell me how much is a plot of land in Surulere now? If you take Surulere, not even Lekki. Ma? There is, you buy a house and break it. You will break the house and build what you want. That's what you can do in Surulere. Because, you know, let's say a building, 6 flats in each building, you need 2 plots. So if one plot is 150 or 200 million, that means you need about 400 million for the land. How much do you need for the building? And let's just assume, how much do you need for the building?
Because I'm looking at the one I saw recently, it's really I was like, hey!
So how much do you need to put up the building? Because if you don't have this clarity, you won't know what to do to get to where you're going. I always use an example. I said, if I want to go from Ibadan to Lagos, I have about 4 options, even 5 now. There is train. I can go by road through Apata, Abeokuta, enter to Songo. I can go through Ibadan, Lagos Ibadan Expressway. I'll still enter. I can go through Ibadan, Ijebu-Ode, Ikorodu. I'll still enter Lagos. I can do Shagamu, still enter Ikorodu. It's still another option. So I have 5 options, 6 again. But the first thing is that I must know that I'm going to Lagos. That's the very first thing. So at that point I can now say, hey Grandma, which road is better? Now I know there are 5 or 6 options. I can now ask for counsel. Which road is good? Should I go by train? How reliable is the train? Where is it go slow? I think it was last night somebody posted online the kind of blockage on the Lagos Ibadan Expressway, no movement. So if somebody gives me that information and say, I can't take this route, let me go and take Abeokuta. If I want to take Abeokuta, there's go slow at Apata, there's NNPC. There's go slow on A4, some way forward because they are repairing. Do you understand? But the first thing is clarity of my destination. And that's what many people don't have. So once you have clarity of your destination, then you know the options of how to get there. And that's what I love about sitting down to think. Be clear about where you are going, sorry, and then be clear about your options. That's when you can now pray and say, God, okay, now you have given me direction. I know I'm going to Lagos, but I'm still in Ibadan. How do I get to Lagos? So imagine that we are now building in Surulere. There are 2 plots. So I've saved 400 million. I have bought 2 plots. How much do I need to complete the houses? A block of 6 flats now. How much do I need?
Maybe 400.
Maybe another 400 or 500 million. So I'm going to need 1 billion. Which part of Surulere? Where don't we decide Abuja? Where don't we that kind of Abuja that has number 180? There's one street in Abuja, it's called Fehintola Street. It's so long, it has number 180 like that. I'm wondering, if rain fall to come out there and it's still Surulere. On the other side is anyway. So imagine that you choose real estate for your investment for retirement. It means you need 1 billion to put up to earn 5 million in 1. I give people an example. My father died at 90 and a half, and he left 10 houses for us in the most open place in Abeokuta. 10. We're not generating 1 million per month now in rent. Meanwhile, he was my first mentor. So immediately I started business and I was making money, he was guiding me to buy land and start building the same route he chose. That's what he knew, because he was selling cement. You know, anybody selling cement, they are always into real estate. So he was guiding me. So I didn't tell him when I sold my first land, because I knew that that's not the route for me. And now, you know, he died a happy man, thinking he has left investments for his children. But we're not getting 1 million a month in rent. Man, search. Sell it. That's not my idea. That's not for other people to decide. Me, 3 times I told him not to put my name in his will. I'm not interested. Because I already knew better. I already knew there are better options. So I wasn't waiting for that. He did his will in a way that you cannot decide to sell it. I don't know. My father was a retired police officer. He retired here and was called as an inspector. He wrote the will in a way that all of you are together. So by yourself. So for what belongs to my mom's children now, all of us have to sit down and agree. And I'm not ready to be here. Let me have my own peace. I enjoy my life. No, you have to share vision.
Yes.
For you to take that decision. Left to me now, I look for a developer. Even if you don't sell this, you can get a developer, destroy what is there, and put up newer structures. And then we have a share, a profit sharing arrangement. But that's everybody that will agree. So if you have 1 billion now, you can buy 12 buildings in your city. You collect 5 million naira rent every month. That's one option. That's not real estate company. Other people doing land banking, there's no money in land banking. Land banking is capital appreciation. It's capital appreciation. You only buy and sell. We're talking of residual income. It's a different matter. It's not about buying the house, renovate and sell. It's like you are trading stocks short term. It's not the same. You are looking at what can I do in 5 years and be earning 5 million. So that's a very good option. The next option will be like we were discussing earlier.